You know, he has been credited with restoring integrity to the mayor's office in Detroit. Now Dave Bing is serving out his last few days as mayor. He plans on taking his first 2-week vacation in years when he is done. But what kind of legacy does he leave? And there was a celebration for him this week, celebrating his time in office. What kind of legacy does Dave Bing leave, Nolan?
I think people say he did the best he could. It wasn't good enough, obviously, by the results. He wrote a sort of farewell piece for us in today's Detroit News, in which he, really put much of the blame on the governor, much of the blame on the way the state has handled cities. So he's still sort of looking for somebody else to point the finger at, and I just don't think he ever really got a handle on the job itself. He never put the right people in place to help him. This was too big a job for any one person. He needed a lot more help than he had in that job.
What do you think his overall legacy is, Stephen?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is the integrity that he brought back to the office, and that was important given the circumstances under which the previous mayor left. But I also, I wrote a piece, I don't know, 6 or 7 months ago about the things that Dave Bing actually did that I don't think we pay enough attention to or give enough credit for. The Cobo Regional Authority, that was one of the first things that happened when he took office. The move to create an authority for the water, DWSD, that was something that he accomplished. Detroit Works, which turned out to be Detroit Future City, started as a Dave Bing initiative. I mean, there's a long list of things now that you add them all up, and they don't outweigh the city's biggest problems and its number one issue, which was finance, which he was unable to do very much about. And so that's why we're in the situation we're in. But that doesn't mean that he didn't accomplish an awful lot, and that there's some things that he did that I think, 5-10 years down the road will pay much bigger dividends than they have so far, and you want people to remember that he was the one who actually did those things.
Nolan, you said that you think that he did the best that he could under the circumstances, and I wonder, was there really anyone else out there that could have changed the outcome of the city going into bankruptcy?
There wasn't at the time, for sure. I mean, and I don't think Dave Bing or anyone else realized just how screwed up things were at that time. Kwame Kilpatrick left a real mess. He left a real financial mess. He left a dysfunctional culture at City Hall. It really was an overwhelming challenge. I think Dave Bing would have done better if he would have accepted more of the help that was offered to him. He never really capitalized on the willingness of the business community to come in to help. He had some really bad, or not bad, but he picked some of the wrong people in the beginning, and they isolated him from some good advice and some good people who might have been helpful. No offense to any of your relatives, but I think he could have done better in picking the key people around him in the beginning.
He's still a very important and passionate voice in this city and in this region. So where does Dave Bing go from here? And how does the region capitalize on perhaps using him again? Or does he say, I'm going to stay far away for a while?
I think he's done. I mean, he's 70 years old this year, I believe, just last month. This is a guy who's had 3 lifetime careers. I mean, he was a pro basketball player, one of the best ever. Something people don't always remember. He ran a company for a long time, and now he's been mayor. I don't know that we have any reasonable expectation for more out of Dave Bing. I think he's going to spend a lot of time in Hilton Head.
I don't think Dave's going to sit on the beach. I mean, he said he wants to be engaged in civic activities. He wants to do mentoring of young black males. He wants to have a role somehow in Blight. As Steve mentioned, he started that whole Future Cities movement. He'd like to be part of it. I think if Doug is smart, though, he'll find things for Dave Bing to do. He can be a powerful voice and have some considerable influence still in this city.
Powerful voice and a passionate one, and we do wish him all the best. Well, it has been 1 year since right-to-work legislation passed here in Michigan. There were big predictions of what economic impact this could have and what it would do to union membership. So 1 year later, was this a fizzle?
Well, I think
where's the impact?
I think it's not long. It's not long enough, right?
So in 5 years from now, I can ask this question, and we'll be able to list off.
Right. Well, I mean,
be able to see if it's had any impact or not.
2 things have been true for sure. That the predictions of both sides of the argument, that one, that this would open the floodgate of new jobs in Michigan, that didn't come true. I mean, the reason Michigan is not growing jobs is far more complex than union issues, and especially at this point, given the dramatic drop in union membership overall before right to work. But the other thing that didn't happen is massive, defection of people out of unions that would hurt, the bottom line of places like the UAW and the MEA. We haven't seen that, and so I think we're in sort of a wait and see kind of mode with this. What will the true impact of it be down the road?
Okay, Nolan, final word?
It's not going to affect the private sector unions all that much. They were in decline anyway. As the auto industry starts to recover and add jobs, they're going to pick up jobs. I don't think you're going to get a lot of defections in the private sector, a handful. Where it would have the most impact is the public sector unions, and these unions and their cohorts in government and school boards sign these long contract extensions that protect some of these unions from loss of members for 10 years. I think the biggest change it's made gives Michigan another marketing tool. You talk to the people who are going out there and talking to companies, particularly foreign companies. It's takes down a fear, it takes down a barrier. You take a company from Germany, manufacturing company, would never locate here because of unions, and even though they're heavily unionized in their own country. So it takes down another barrier, and it removes, it gives them a talking point. The state's been a little reluctant to market it. They tried to initially, and the unions all went up in arms. It's one of those things: do it or don't do it. If you're going to do it, don't be ashamed of it.
Yeah, and we've got to. We've got to end it there. So thanks so much for joining us. And guys, Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful holiday. You're wearing your Christmas tie, Nolan.
I am.
Right?
Look here. This tie, that's the Renaissance Center in Santa Claus. And it come from the old Hudsons.
I heard that Nolan doesn't celebrate Christmas. I thought he celebrated Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa, right.
Oh,
we're going to burn a Kwanzaa
It's been a great
pole.
year, guys. Thanks so much. That is going to wrap it up for MiWeek. Have a Merry Christmas. We'll be back next week with a look at some of the biggest interviews from the year while we spend some quality time with our family and friends. As always, thanks for supporting MiWeek and Detroit Public TV. For all of us, have a great weekend. See you.